Hey folks, welcome back to another first impressions video that I'm going to do. I'm going to be doing these probably every week, as long as we're doing Testing Tuesdays and I have the ability to get my first impressions in. I'm going to go ahead and do these. So we're going to go ahead and talk about 3 of the games that we played on Tuesday, and that is, first of all, this one right here, Fuji. Now, Fuji is a cooperative game where you are racing to get away from the lava flow of this mountain that is erupting, Mount Fuji. And it has a lot of dice rolling in it, and you're having to basically work together with the other people playing the game to make sure that you can move to a spot that you can target with the dice that you've rolled. And there's some mitigation, re-rolling of the dice. Not really mitigation though, it's re-rolling of the dice so that you can make sure that you're hitting your target and not messing with somebody else's target. So I like the idea of the game. I don't know so much that I like the game per se, because I thought that it might even be a better game if you were competitively working to get to the village first, to get away from the other thing. But that might push a little bit too far into the take that realm, and I'm not so sure I'd like that in this game. But I don't know, that's just my first impressions of it. I don't think that it's going to be a game that I'm going to enjoy on a long-term basis. I think I liked it, so to speak, but not enough. There were just some weird nuances to the game that I just didn't enjoy. I didn't like competing with each other for these different target areas, but still having to cooperate, because you could try, and this happened many times during our live play, where you're trying to roll away from hurting other people, and it just comes up the same thing. So you can try to cooperate, but it's a random thing because you got to re-roll the dice to try to cooperate with people. So I don't know. It's just that's the way it is. It's too lucky to be cooperative. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's Fuji. Another one that we tried was a Treasure Mountain. Now this is a I guess you could call it a resource management game, because you're trying to sell your gems to, well, first you have to mine the gems, then you have to use your gems to get more money, or you use your money to get more rooms in your cave or your mine, and so forth and so on. But you're generally trying to get the most points at the end of the game, and you can do that by collecting certain kinds of or achieving certain goals on one side, and you get points for how many different rooms you have in your mine, and how many different gems you have left in your mine, and how many gems you have available to you that you've mined. So there's a lot of different ways to get points, I guess you could say. But the thing that kind of bogged the game down, and I enjoy worker placement games a lot, but the one mechanism that kind of bogged the game down was that you replace people, dwarves, at these different sites where you can place your workers, and then they get to place that again. And so what should have been, I guess you could say, a very streamlined experience, felt like it was slogging through, because whenever you place one of your last people, somebody else gets to do that. And if they place where somebody else is, then they can place theirs at. And that round, or that phase, just felt like it kept dragging on and dragging on and dragging on. I didn't have that big of a problem with it, but the other two that played the game did have the problem with it, and they didn't like the game hardly at all. Well, I think they liked it okay, but I think I liked it the best out of all 3 of us. I want to play it again just to see if that really if that slogfest of replacing people's workers and them getting to replace their worker and that type of thing, if that happens again and again, then I probably won't like the game as much as I do right now. But I do like worker placement games, and this is a pretty good one. So we'll see. I think that it's going to be fun. The economy in the game felt a little wonky, but I'm not a mathematician, so I'm not going to say that it is wonky. It just felt that way, because you would think that gems are more valuable than gold, but they aren't necessarily, because you're trading in gems often to get gold back, so that you can use that gold and your barrels to purchase new rooms and it just felt strange. So I want to play it again, but my initial impression is that I did enjoy it. I think it's a good worker placement game, but there's some wonkiness to it, and then I want to see if it fleshes out with another play. Now, this one is one that it's kind of feels strange doing it as a first impression because I've played this game so much and I've talked so much about it. Stone Age, this is the anniversary edition of it. It actually has a double-sided board, which is really cool because you can play base game on one side, and then you flip it over and it's this snowy motif, and it has some extra variants that you can add into it that kind of change how the game plays. And all in all, I liked all of the different variants. They didn't change how the game is played so much that it feels like you're playing a different game. It just gives you a little bit of different ways to grab some more points during the course of the game. And I like it when expansions or variants do that. They slightly tweak how the game plays a little bit, but not so much to where you feel like you're playing a different game. And that's pretty much what all these variants do. So I like that part of it. I do like the snow motif, the winter motif that they've adopted for this anniversary edition, but I also like the fact that the other side of the board is just your base game. And so if you, which I think the board on the base game side of it is more colorful and it looks better on the board, but I like the fact that you have this difference in one box. All of the different components in the game are the same, so they work on both sides of the board, which is good. So that's cool as well. My first impression of this anniversary edition is they hit it out of the park. But I'd like to play those variants a little bit more just to see how they go in another group of people. I think we enjoyed it fine and it was great, but I want to see how other people enjoy it as well. So that's my first impressions of Stone Age, the anniversary edition. They think they did a great job, and the double-sided board is kind of a genius idea. So that's it, Stone Age. And so that's that for another first impressions video. Thanks for joining me. I certainly hope you appreciated it and you enjoyed it. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Take care.